So now we have a little more time to have some of your questions answered from the colleagues of European University Foundation and from UNICA. So let's start with the questions regarding the Erasmus Plus Teaching Mobility Platform to Anikó and Kilian. And we received a couple of questions in the chat, so let's start with them. So someone asked that, is there a guideline to write one's best story, or is it freestyle, how they should approach this if they want to submit it?
Basically, it's a very, very good question, and you can get inspired by the already existing best stories on the site. Basically, it's a freestyle. However, we are planning to add some basic questions because we not only want to get it interesting testimonials, but also to provide some practical advices. For example, I went to teach to this university, and I highly recommend this because the organization of the mobility was very good. And I also had the chance to not only teach during the classes, but to take part in any extracurricular activities, you know, this kind of details. So we will set some basic sections for these best stories, just to help the academics when sharing their stories with us on the platform.
Great, thank you very much. So another question was that how long do you foresee that a host and a mobile teacher could meet in average after the offer is posted? I hope we understand the question right. Can you answer it, Anikó?
Yes. I think it's a very, very good question, and thank you for this. So it raises a lot of questions, right? So the platform allows to set deadlines in a far future, or even for a very close future. So this is very flexible in that matter. And also, you not only set the deadline for application or invitation, but you can also indicate the foresee mobility period for the teaching mobility, which can be even happen like next year as well. So I think why this platform is really good is because it supports those ones who are a little bit of a control freak, and you know, they want to plan forward and know that in 1 year I'm going to host this guest lecture in this week with this course plan. And it also supports those ones who are more improvisative, and they plan ahead for like a month. They just put on the advertisement and they set the deadline for a week or for 2 weeks, and then they can realize the mobility already in 1 month. So actually, I will be very curious because, of course, we will have some statistics about this on the website. So maybe when we come back in 1 or 2 years, we will be able to answer this question, analyzing the trends of how long did it take from posting an offer to the realization of the mobility. So I think it's a very good question. Thank you very much for this.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And I really hope that we can really see the results in a few years and see the platform expanding. Another question was, can non-academic staff members also share their experience on specific themes or projects and to hold a conference or workshop, for instance? What is your take on this?
Yes, so two main answers for this. One, this website is for academic staff. There is the staffmobility.eu website, which is for administrative staff to offer and find different opportunities for administrative staff. So that's the staffmobility.eu website. The other one is that on this site, you can also offer training opportunities, but for academic staff. For example, we have here Sebastian, who is also an academic, but also technical staff. So he can, for example, offer a training on how to use digital tools in when teaching. So that is not a classical teaching mobility, but a training for academics, right? So the site is also able to host and boost these kind of mobilities as well, because we realized that trainings for academic staff is also a very missing element in the European higher education area, and it is really, really needed to have trainings for academics. And here on the website, this is again a self-made marketplace for that as well. I hope this answered the question.
Absolutely wonderful. And now some questions to Viki about the policy recommendations. So in your view, which of the recommendations might have the largest impact? What do you think about this?
Well, I must ask back at which level, because I think that it's difficult to compare the individual level recommendations with the policy ones, for example. So if the person could clarify, that would be helpful. But otherwise, I really couldn't pick one, because at a personal level, that's really individual. It's based on the specific needs of the person, seniority level, challenges, country, type of institution. So it's that's very difficult to predict. At the institutional level, again, it's I find it difficult to compare sustainability issues with inclusion, for example, or digitalization. But again, these are really interlinked. So again, at the policy level, the European initiatives imply or include digitalization, include sustainability, and they also include inclusion. So it's in this sense, the European universities can be of special importance, but it's not exclusive. So it's really difficult to say.
And what do you think? What are those recommendations where the implementation might be difficult? Do you have any take on this one?
I think where I see, well, it's a very personal view. I think making mobility greener and sustainable is a very challenging issue, because it's simply contradictory. So if you go somewhere that has an impact on the environment, I mean, that's yeah. So that's why in this sense so institutions need to find their own responses to this challenge and find the balance between digital or blended and classic physical mobility. Money matters, obviously. So for example, I haven't talked about carbon offsetting schemes, for example, which is mentioned in the report or in the recommendations several times. That's obviously money. And even if the Commission has dedicated tools for that, so just think about the new Green Deal. It can have, so there are instruments in place, but these challenges and these instruments should meet. And there I very much see an important top-down approach. So these supports should come from there. That can be really, really tricky in many respects. But again, a step-by-step approach, sharing good experiences can support higher education institutions. And perhaps just one thing here, that making mobility greener is usually part of a larger sustainability strategy of higher education institutions. Many universities are on the way of formulating their own sustainability strategies. In the best case, it's happening with a whole institution approach. So making mobility greener, both teaching and student mobility, or academic and student mobility, should be and is part of this sustainability approach.
Okay, thank you. And lastly, how do you intend to draw the attention of the different target groups to the recommendations and deliver these to them?
Love the question. Thanks a lot. So we will also rely on on participants' contribution, but well, I think the composition of the partnership is really excellent, because UNICA and the UF are in Brussels. So we have great outreach to policy stakeholders. We also have, well, UNICA has 55 member universities. I'm not exactly aware of the numbers of the UF, but Anikó might help me, but it's also a substantial number. So we will definitely share the results within our networks. Around 75% of UNICA's eligible members are members in a European University initiative. I guess the same goes for EUF. Also, ELTE itself is member of CHARM EU. We have great members in Spain and France, so I think it will have a great multiplier effect. So we will spread the word at any level, or at every level, both policy, institutional, and on a personal level.
Thank you very much. And in the meantime, I will share the link in the chat where you can see all the policy recommendations are organized according to the different levels. So you can have a look on them.